Hi, this is Mrs. Baxter, and today we are going to be continue our discussion of multiplying radicals, but we are going to be multiplying binomials or two terms by a binomial, which is another two terms. So if you look at your examples, you can see we have binomials in parentheses multiplied together. So there's two ways we can do it. We can do either the box method or the FOIL method. And I think what we'll do is we'll do the FOIL method first, otherwise known as the rainbow method. So if you want to write a quick note to yourself here about in the margin up here in the notes, you can just do something like this where FOIL, if you'll remember, stands for first, outsides, inside, and last. I'll show you what I mean by that, okay? And when we multiply our radicals together, remember your outsides or your coefficients are always going to be multiplied together, and your insides of your radicals are always going to be multiplied together. You never mix them, okay, until we simplify them at the end. And you could simplify them ahead of time if they are able to be simplified, especially when they're bigger numbers. But in most cases, you're going to see, oh, they're simplified as much as they can. Let's go ahead and multiply everything out. Okay, so let's do the FOIL method for example number one. If you want to watch this example first and then watch me do the box method second to see which method you prefer, and then go back and copy the appropriate notes, that would be perfectly fine. And it would be actually a great study method for you because you can actually just see it first, and then you can rewatch and copy down the method that you feel best works for you, okay? I'm going to use both methods for all of the problems that we're going to work through. There's not a whole lot of room for you, so I would say pick which one you think is going to be easier, so then that way you have the most room to write in our examples, okay? All right, so let's get started. So when we're looking at FOIL method, all right, I'm going to do my first terms first. So this is my first term in the first binomial, and 4 is my second term in the second binomial. So if I'm going to do FOIL, I'm going to go F first, right, which is just 5 times 4, which is equal to 20. Okay, that's my first term. My outside term, I'm going to do a different color here, is going to be 5 is on the outside on the front, and then root 6 is on the outside in the back. So remember, 5 is our coefficient. There's no radical sign after it. And then we're going to multiply by root 6. Well, that one is a radicand, and 5 doesn't have a radicand. So we're just going to smush them together because it's like saying the same thing. 5 times root 6 is just 5 root 6. All right, now let's look at our inside term. Well, negative root 6. Remember to take your negative here. Negative root 6 times 4 is an inside term. Again, I'm going to squish these together. Negative 6 is really negative 1 root 6, but we don't write the 1 all the time. And then I'm going to take the negative 1 and multiply it to 4 because 4 is an outside. And then because 4 does not have a radicand, it's like saying 4 times square root of 1. And so we are just left with negative 4 root 6. Squish those together. And certainly not last but least, we're going to look at our two last terms right here. And I've got negative root 6 times root 6. When you multiply a negative times a positive, you're automatically going to get a negative. But also, when I multiply root 6 times root 6, the answer is just 6. Now watch, I'll just do this really quick. So 6 times 6, right, is equal to square root of 36. If I split it out, look at that. We're left with a 6. So down here, you're just going to see a negative 6. All right, now let's put all of this together. We're basically going to say, okay, 20 plus 5 root 6 minus 4 root 6. Oops. Ooh. Okay, minus, whoops, I did it again, you guys. 4 root 6 minus 6, okay? Let's combine like terms. I have a whole number and a whole number. 20 minus 6 gives me 14. And then I'm going to look at 5 root 6 minus 4 root 6, which is equal to minus 1 root 6. And this is my final answer. All right, now if I'm going to do the box method, also remember, you can't combine those two terms because they don't have the same radical sign. We're adding and subtracting now. And if they're not like terms, then we can't combine them. All right, so with the box method, right, what you're going to do is when you have 4 terms, you're going to create a box that will allow you space for 4 spaces. Your first binomial, I'm going to take my 5 and line it up for this box, and I'm going to take negative root 6, and I put my one binomial on the left, and then I'm going to put my other binomial on the top. All right, so it's almost like saying I have my binomial here. Anyway, okay. So what you're going to do now is you're now going to multiply what the box, like what the numbers are leading to in the box. It's like a little grid. So if I'm looking at this, I'm going, what's 5 times 4? I'm going to put my answer right here. And 5 times 4 is 20. All right, now let's look at the next one. 5 times root 6. These come together in this box right here. So I'm going to do 5 root 6. Then I'm going to go down here. I'm going to look at 4 times negative root 6. The answer is going here. I'm going to switch it, squish them together. And then lastly, I've got my negative root 6 times root 6. I'm going to put the answer right here, and that is going to be just 6. Oh, sorry, negative 6, okay? And then what you do is you just, again, add them together. Plus 5 root 6 minus 4 root 6 minus 6, and we get the exact same thing. Our whole numbers give us 14. And then if I do 5 root 6 minus 4 root 6, I am left with plus root 6. I made a mistake up top. It should be plus here. You say, Mrs. Baxter, oh my gosh. All right. See, even teachers make mistakes. We can all learn, right? All right. So whichever way you think is the easiest and works for you, go ahead and write that method down. All right. If you finish that, then we're going to go on to problem number 2. Actually, let's skip around. I don't like how the numbers are numbered. Let's do the number 3 first, because it looks a little simpler to me. All right, so we're going to, again, pay attention to the outsides and the insides. I'm going to do FOIL first. I'm going to do my firsts right here, root 3 times root 3, which we should know right now is just 3. Love it. And then I've got my, so I can also do this, you guys. It's like the rainbow, first times first. And when you do this, if you do the method like this, make sure that you're not drawing all your arrows all at once, because then it gets confusing. I get lost. I don't know where I'm going. So I always do one step at a time and just really take my time and think methodically through it. All right, so I've done my firsts. Now I'm going to do my outside. And my outside is root 3 times negative 5. Negative 5, which is the same thing as going like this if you need to. Okay, and so then I'm squishing together and I get negative 5 root 3. Then I'm going to do my insides. So my insides are 5 and root 3. I'm just going to go like this. And I'm going to go 5 times root 3, which is equal to 5 root 3. And certainly last but not least, I'm going to do my last 2 terms, which is 5 times negative 5, which is equal to negative 25. Well, if you notice in this situation, these 2 terms cancel each other out. I'll write it all out, but I want you to notice that right away. Okay, we have a 3 minus 5 root 3 plus 5 root 3. Bye. Those are going away. Minus 25. So really, these 2 cancel out. So now we're just left with 3 minus 25, which, don't forget, order of operations. You have to go left to right. 3 minus 25, and you should get negative 22. And that's our final answer. Okay? I love it. That one's so simple. All right, now let's move to number 2. It's gonna be oh, wait. I promised you guys I would do box method. Holy cow, sorry, I'm moving around like crazy. All right, let's do box method really quick. Box method, make your box, make your square. On the left side, we're gonna do root 3 times 5. On the top, we're gonna do 5 times negative, oh wait, what did I do? Oops, you guys, sorry. I must be tired or something because I don't usually make this many boo-boos. -5. Okay, now we're gonna multiply these two together in this box. A root 3 times root 3 is just 3. -5 times root 3 is -5 root 3. In this box, I'm going to have 5 root 3. And in the last box, I am doing 5 times -5, which is going to give me -25. And as you'll notice, I have all my terms the same here when I write them all out. When I'm putting these out, I'm always now, second step on the box method, adding and subtracting, okay? Follow the signs that are with your, that you've created in your box, okay? All right. If you have questions, please come see me after. All right, let's look at number 2. It's a little bit more involved, but let's do our FOIL method. All right, so FOIL. Let's start with our firsts. I'm going to take this term and multiply it this term. Now note, this is the whole term. So we need to do 5 root 10 times this whole term, which is 2 root 5. If I multiply my outsides and my insides together, I'm getting 10 root 50. All right, let's look at our outside terms. Outside. I can draw my little arrow here. I'm going to now do 5 root 10 times -5, which now when I multiply 5 times -5, those are my outside terms. I'm getting -25 root 10. I hope you all see all that. I'm going to do my inside terms now. So this term and this term. And this one is 4 root 2 times 2 root 5. So you can see how staying organized, whichever method you choose, is very important. I'm going to multiply my outsides. So 4 times 2 is 8. Square root 10. Ooh, I'm seeing a nice little trend here in the middle, which I like. And then let's do our last terms, this term and this term. And I'm going to write 4 root 2 times -5. -5 times 4 is -20 root 2. All right, let's write this all out now. You can write it below if you want to, but no, we are going to have to simplify this root 50. 5 root 10 plus 8 root 10 minus 20 root 2. I'm going to do 25, and I already know 5 and 5, okay? So my 5 is going to go outside. I now get 5 times 10 is 50 root 2. And so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to rewrite this whole thing, but I notice now this is my new term. I have a like term here. So I'm going to write 50 root 2 minus 20 root 2, which is going to be 30 root 2. And then I have two like terms here with -25 and 8 plus 8, which is going to give me -17 root 10. And this right here is our final answer. All right, let's see what it looks like with box method, okay? So using our box method, oh, look at that. I don't know why it did that. Let's see if I can do it here. All right, left, we're going to take our left binomial, okay? I'm going to do 5 root 10 here. I'm going to do 4 root 2. Then I'm going to do our second binomial on the top. and -5. Remember to take your signs in front of your terms. And now I'm just going to multiply these two together, put the answer here. I get 10 root 50, so outsides times insides. I'm going to do -5 times 5 root 10. Again, outsides and insides. Let's do 2 root 5 times 4 root 2. I'm going to get 8 root 10. And then last, I'm going to do 4 root 2 times -5, and I get -20 root 2. And if you compare the outcome of this to what we did with FOIL, you will know it is the same thing. Okay, so if I start putting these all together, 10 root 50 minus 25 root 10, and so on, you can go ahead and just do exactly what is up here and bring your answer down. It will be the exact same thing, okay? In the interest of saving space here, let me see. Let me see if I can make this look a little bit better. Oh, it's the smallest one. I don't know why it does that. Okay, let me zoom in just a little bit. Maybe it'll make my... what's going on here? Sorry, you guys. You know how I am technologically challenged. So I've got 10, there we go, 10 root 50 minus 25 root 10. Remember, you're now adding and subtracting everything in the box. Minus 20 root 2. This right here breaks down to 50 root 2. So then my final answer is exactly what I got before because I'm combining like terms. Remember, like terms are under the radicals. And I'm going to get 30 root 2 minus 17 root 10. Final answer, which is exactly what we got when we used the FOIL method. Okay, I know that was a lot. I'm really proud of you guys for hanging in there. We have one more. Okay, this one I would like you to try on your own and then pause the video and then come back and see if you got the right answer. I will help you set this up. So either method that you choose, use that method. This one's a little bit easier than the one we just did, okay? But when I see this exponent right here, what does that mean? Well, this just means we're multiplying what's in this binomial by itself. So it's multiplying it twice, okay? So we are going to just, in fact, rewrite this equation to 2 plus root 3 times 2 plus root 3, okay? And then from here, you guys know how to solve this. So either using the FOIL or the box method, go ahead, pause your video, and check your answer. So I'm going to pause and solve this. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and solve it, but you just pause the video, okay? All right, I'm going to personally use the box method, but you should get the same answer regardless. Okay, so if you solved it like I solved it, you would have done your box method like this. Oops, this one didn't show up. And so your final answer should be 4 plus 2 root 3 plus 2 root 3 plus 3, which is the same as 7 plus 4 root 3. All done. Okay, cool. Well, if you have any questions about this, please let me know. Otherwise, we've got homework, and you can go ahead and start on those last problems on the homework that you guys started yesterday. If you have questions again, ask a neighbor, ask a friend, look at your notes as a resource. That's a good way to study and get better. And then last but not least, come see me. All right, go to it. You got this.